Be'ezrat Hashem, now we start Perek Aleph of Pirke Kinyan HaDaat. להיות בר דעת הוא דרך חיים מיוחדת. To be what is called a bar da'at is to be someone that owns, okay, his da'at and live his life through the hashkafa, yeah, through the lenses of da'at. The derech chaim, it's a way of life. It's very important, that keyword derech chaim. If you see, Rav Wolbe highlighted that word. Why? Because people tend to think that da'at is a tool, just like a midah is a tool, right? You have a trait, a personality trait. It's a tool that you use to interact, right? To express yourself. You may think that the da'at is just like the chokhmah, right? Chokhmah, it's a source of knowledge, which you have access to when you need to get some information in order to take a decision, or an educated decision. Comes Rav Wolbe and tells us that Rabbi Yerucham is teaching us that da'at is not a tool. Da'at is a way of life. What does that mean, a way of life? It's the application of a certain koach, which in this case is called a da'at, in your life, so that now every time you need to express yourself, you need to react, yes, you apply that formula. It's a way of living, yes. Just like you have people that have a way of life of waking up very early, or to eat very healthy, yes, or to exercise. It's a way of life. It's a way of life, yes. Applying that to your behavior is also a way of life. It's a direction you take. It's an awareness in the direction you take in your life, and the lifestyle you choose. This is why Rav Wolbe highlights the word derech chaim. And what type of derech chaim is that? Simat lev. Look, if I ask you a question, David, without looking behind you, yes? Don't look behind. Do you know if your closet door is open or it's closed?
I know it's closed.
Right. And are there one door or two doors?
There's two. There's one that's broken.
And one that's broken. Okay, very good. Very good. So you actually sam lev, right? You actually sam lev. Now,
meaning it's memory?
Not memory, it's an awareness. It's a sensitivity that allows you to pick up, yes, on a lot of information. Yes. Now, if I ask your father now, yes.
Does it mean paying attention? Is that what it means?
What?
Does it mean paying attention?
Yes, yes. For example, look, Ronen, you have behind you a beautiful frame with tzaddikim, which I'm sure you look at subconsciously hundreds of times a day in the house. Okay, can you tell me which how does the top one looks like?
Yes.
You know exactly how it looked like, every one of them?
No, but most of or some of them.
Yeah. Why is that? Because you care, because you pay attention.
Right.
Good. Now, certain things, or most things, we don't pay attention. We think we do, but we don't. Our eyes are receptors that pick up information just as the other five senses that we have. They pick up information. However, our awareness, our attention decides where to put the focus on in order to identify that information and give it importance and validity versus the information that is not really relevant to us.
You filter.
Yeah, your awareness, your simat lev, when you put your heart to it, you pay attention. When you put your heart to something, that thing becomes part of your reality. A lot of things exist around us, but are not part of our reality. When does something becomes part of our reality? When we pay attention to it. For example, yes, you you buy a pair of shoes, okay, that you didn't really pay attention to. You buy it. Suddenly you see a lot of people wearing the same shoes, right? Why? Because you just pay attention to these shoes. You understand? That is what Da'at allows you to do. The Da'at, essentially to be a Bar Da'at, is to pay attention to. Now, to pay attention, meaning to be in control of your senses at all time. Right now, our senses are not under our control. They're under the control of our instinct. This is why a lot of information that our senses pick up, we don't even pay attention to. You understand what I'm saying? The moment you're in control of your senses, what does it mean to be in control of your senses? That means that what you pay attention when you look to everything, or essentially you cannot pay attention to everything, yes, but the more you pay attention to what you see, and the more you pick up information, the more you pay attention to what you smell, and the more information you pick up through your smell, the more attention you give to what you touch, and the more the textures will be, you will pick up information on the texture.
So the opposite of that would be not paying attention and just
numbness,
impulsive,
careless,
whatever.
Careless,
yeah,
indifferent,
yeah,
detached completely. So this is what the simat. Why is that so important? Because what is the definition of Da'at? Da'at is the application, the practical application of the assessment of knowledge that has been given to you. Practical application of your assessment of knowledge that you have acquired. Knowledge is chokhmah. The assessment of the chokhmah is called bina. Its practical application, it's called da'at. So, good, David? You take an information, you got an information, it's called chokhmah. You process it, you assess it, that's bina. Now that information that you've heard from somebody else, from third party, becomes yours, right?
Right.
And now how do you apply that wisdom, that knowledge in your life practically? It's called da'at.
Right. It's like you use your common sense to assess the situation that you're in. Like if you go into a room and someone's sleeping, you use your da'at, which came from your chokhmah and your bina, in order to understand what's going on around you and to apply, like, oh, don't be so loud, close the door quiet, like this.
And so exactly, that's an amazing example. Why it's such a great example? Because that will trigger what? Sensitivity. But how did you use that, and why were you able to use your da'at? Because you're in tune with your senses. So you didn't just open the door and didn't pay attention that there was somebody sleeping. You open the door, the light is off. You can be with yourself and not paying attention that there's somebody sleeping next to you. And suddenly you make noise, blah, blah, blah. But if you are a bar da'at and you're in touch with your senses, this awareness allows you to pick up so much information that now you create a bridge between the reality that's around you, the situation that you're exposed to, and your bank of information and knowledge. That bond is the da'at.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Got
so
it.
it is from a ruchani level. Yes, it's called simat lev, and on a practical level, it's called using your senses and paying attention to the information your senses are picking up. Good?
Yes.
Okay. בכל מצב שבו הוא נמצא, every situation a person is in, או שאליו הוא מגיע, or is about to face, הוא שם לב מהו המיוחד במצב זה. He pays attention. What's so special about that place? What's so special about that situation? וכיצד עליי להתייחס לזה? And how do I behave in such a situation? This is that. כל אדם שאיתו הוא נפגש, הוא שם לב מה צריך להיות היחס שלו אליו. Every person you encounter, okay, how do I have to behave with that person? האם יוכל לעזור לו? Maybe I'm here to help the person. Maybe I'm here to learn from that person. ללמוד ממנו. Maybe I need to get close to that person and become friends, befriend that person. Maybe I have to get away from that person. Maybe this person is toxic. Maybe this person has bad influence. Every situation requires assessment. But in order to assess, you need the proper information. You need accurate intel in order to be able to use now your chokhmah, your binah, and your da'at, and apply it properly to the situation that you're facing. ישים לב לכל מה שהוא רואה בעולם ולכל מאורע בעולם. Everything that's around you, you need to pick up on. You have to see, absorb that information in macro level and in micro level. כלל גדול הוא, אין שום דבר בעולם מובן מאליו. Now, what is the trigger that motivates you to always look for information that will stimulate your interest in picking up information from your senses? Is the fact that you understand that nothing is taken for granted. אין דבר מהעולם מובן מאליו. Do not take nothing for granted. And if you understand that you cannot take nothing for granted, then everything becomes important. From the fact that you have a clean bed sheet, the fact that its softness, the proper size on the mattress, the fact that there's a mattress, the fact that there's a base to the mattress and there's not a broken leg, the fact that you can lean on it and you actually, your body can rest on it, that you have a pillow, that the pillow is good enough. Yes, the kippah that you wear on your head, the fact that you can get a haircut, the fact that your hair grows, the fact that you have a toothbrush, that you have a toothpaste, the fact that you can drink, the fact that you can breathe, the fact suddenly you realize that everything becomes important. So if you understand that you are a carrier of what is called Ratzon Hashem, you're carrying the will of Hashem, you're carrying the miracle of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You are the miracle of Hashem, because now you magnify properly, okay, the importance of everything. Now, a person can get very overwhelmed with all this, yes? But the idea here is to know how to apply that approach to specific situations. The itbodedut or the it'orerut apnimit is between you and yourself, yes? And this, every person does it without even knowing it, or doesn't do it while he should be doing during the tefillah. The tefillah is an introspection. The tefillah is magnifying, okay, the ness and the will of HaKadosh Baruch Hu within you. The fact that you can pray, the fact that you can connect, the fact that you can speak to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, all those HaDaat, the Birkot HaShvach, the Birkot HaHodaot, all this is to amplify that nothing's taken for granted. between Ben Adam le'atzmo and then Ben Adam lamakom. When you face now a situation, you now apply the same koach and the same approach, not to the situation with Ben Adam lachavero, right? So the makom, the time, and the players, always. Makom, zman, adam. Makom, zman, adam. First, where am I? Number two, zman. Where am? What time is it? I mean, what's the, like? What are the how you call it? What are the factors around me of this man? And Adam, who's that person that I'm facing, and what am I supposed? How am I supposed to behave? And based on that, now I apply Chokhmah and Binah, and I'm able to interact properly.
3 players. I like that.
Yes, always. That's the tri-dimension that affects every situation we're in. Makom, Zman, Adam. Tov. Bezrat Hashem. So that